Cryptids have held a grasp on humanity for centuries, with sightings reported all over the globe, ranging from the Loch Ness Monster in Scotland to living dinosaurs in the Amazon. These undiscovered entities captivate us to this day. But in this video, we're focusing on the evolution of cryptids in North America. I grew up with some of these stories living in Virginia, so I'm excited to talk about them. And as I dug deeper into these legends, I realized there's something fascinating happening beneath the surface. There's a distinct shift in the history where we can see how colonization warped Native American legends and created an entirely new American mythology. If this type of content interests you, or you'd like to see some more video essays in the future, go ahead and subscribe. Besides that, let's get started. Cryptids are generally defined as an animal whose existence or survival is disputed or unsubstantiated, such as the Yeti or Bigfoot. So instead of them being something completely foreign to Earth, they come across as more of a potentially undiscovered species. Yet I have to say that some of the Native American folklore we'll look at twists the definition a little bit, as many of the stories are also very spiritual and don't directly fit in the cryptid classification. However, much of their folklore, such as with the Wendigo, have been changed so drastically over time that they better fit the definition, so that's exactly what we'll start with. The Wendigo originated as a mythological creature or evil spirit from the folklore of the Algonquin-speaking First Nations peoples in Canada and the northern United States. Although descriptions can vary somewhat among different tribes and cultures, what's similar is the view that the Wendigo is a malevolent, cannibalistic supernatural being. They were strongly associated with the North, winter, cold, famine, starvation, and sometimes greed. Basil H. Johnson, an Ojibwe teacher and scholar, describes the Wendigo as a terrifying figure of starvation and death. It's a creature so emaciated that its dry, ash-gray skin is stretched tight over its bones, making it look like a walking skeleton. With deep-set eyes and tattered, bloody lips, the Wendigo is a vision of corruption, emitting the foul, overwhelming scent of rotting flesh. However, in the lore of the Ojibwe, Eastern Cree, and Innu, the Wendigo is also depicted as a giant, a distinct feature absent from other Algonquin myths. Cursed with insatiable hunger, the creature grows in proportion to every victim it consumes, ensuring it can never be full. Consequently, the Wendigo appears simultaneously massive and emaciated, serving as a terrifying embodiment of greed, gluttony, and excess. Unlike its modern counterpart, the story of the Wendigo exists to teach a lesson. Greed is a beast that can never be filled. No matter how much you try to feed it, it'll only grow stronger instead of satiated. While the Wendigo warned against internal corruption, other beings addressed external dangers. Next, I want to discuss the Water Panther, known to the Ojibwe as Mishipeshu, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing these, I'm doing my best. In the mythology of the Great Lakes tribes, these aquatic monsters serve as the direct rivals to the Thunderbirds. While the Thunderbirds command the air, the Water Panthers rule the depths. These two entities are viewed as opposing yet complementary forces, forever locked in an eternal elemental conflict. When storms raged over the Great Lakes, tribes believed they were witnessing this cosmic battle, thunder crashing as the Thunderbirds dove from the sky, and waves surging as the Water Panthers rose from below. Both the Water Panther and the Thunderbird existed as warnings to the dangers of the natural world. The waters of the Great Lakes can be extremely dangerous, capable of sudden violent storms and treacherous underwater currents. The thunder from the storm clouds signals these deadly conditions approaching, and they weren't just scary stories, they were survival knowledge passed down through generations. These stories held deep meaning, each carries lessons about survival, morality, and respect for the natural world. But these carefully crafted teachings didn't survive colonization intact. Once European settlers arrived in North America, the cultural context was stripped away and the spiritual weight replaced with pure spectacle. The Wendigo's transformation is one of the clearest examples of this change. What was once a profound warning about the dangers of greed and excess became, in popular culture, simply a scary cannibal monster. The shift really took hold in the 20th century. Algernon Blackwood's 1910 horror story, The Wendigo, reimagined it as a forest monster that hunts people. Movies, video games, and horror stories continue this trend. By the time we reach modern horror, the Wendigo had become the iconic deer-skulled creature lurking in the woods. The lesson was lost, and the Wendigo was no longer a cautionary tale about the corruption of the human soul. It became just another monster to fear. This shift represents a broader pattern. European settlers brought their own approach to folklore. One focused less on moral instruction and more on spectacle and fear. A perfect example of this new tradition is the Jersey Devil. The Jersey Devil emerged from colonial folklore in the 1700s, born in the Pine Barrens of South Jersey. According to legend, the creature, also called the Leeds Devil, was the cursed 13th child of Mother Leeds, a woman who had 12 children, and after discovering she was pregnant for the 13th time, cursed the child in frustration, declaring, "Let the child be the devil." The child, though born normally, immediately grew wings, a tail, and claws after birth and flew out to the Pine Barrens. Descriptions of the Jersey Devil vary wildly, but most accounts paint a nightmarish picture. A flying creature with leathery bat-like wings, a horse or goat-like head with horns, and a kangaroo-like body standing on cloven hooves. Witness describes small clawed arms, a forked or barbed tail, and an unnaturally elongated torso. Perhaps most terrifying is the creature's movement. It's said to fly with incredible speed while emitting a high-pitched, blood-curdling scream that echoes through the pines. Unlike the lore of the Native Americans, the Jersey Devil does not exist to serve an overarching theme or lesson. It was bred from a curse and exists to be frightening, and this was exemplified in the 1900s. During a single week in January 1909, a wave of mass hysteria swept across South Jersey and the Philadelphia region, fueled by hundreds of newspaper reports alleging encounters with the Jersey Devil. The accounts were dramatic. The creature reportedly attacked a trolley car in Haddon Heights and a social club in Camden, and even police gunfire seemed ineffective against it. What began as mysterious footprints in the snow escalated into sightings stretching as far as Delaware and western Maryland. The fear was palpable throughout the Delaware Valley, forcing schools to close and workers to stay home, while vigilante groups prowled the countryside hunting the beast. Amidst the chaos, a rumored $10,000 reward from the Philadelphia Zoo inspired various hoaxes, including a kangaroo painted and fitted with fake wings. This is the fundamental difference. Where native stories taught lessons through fear, colonial cryptids offered only fear itself, pure entertainment, sensationalism, and sometimes profit. The Jersey Devil wasn't a warning, it was a sensation. A prime example of a more modern, sensationalized cryptid is the Mothman, which is actually one of my personal favorites because of how close I live to its roots. Between November 1966 and December 1967, the town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, became the center of a strange American legend, the Mothman. Although the name suggests an insect-like appearance, early eyewitnesses actually described a man-sized bird. The frenzy began with a November 16th headline in the Point Pleasant Register. Couples see man-sized bird, creature, something, which quickly caught the attention of the national press. The story originated from two young couples from Point Pleasant who told the police that they had seen a large black creature whose eyes glowed red, standing beside the road near the site of a former World War II munitions plant. Linda Scarberry described it as a slender, muscular man, about 7 feet tall with white wings. However, she was unable to discern its face due to the hypnotic effect of its eyes. The terrified witnesses sped away, reporting that the creature flew after their car, making a screeching sound, and it chased them to the city limits. While skeptics argue the sightings were likely misidentified sandhill cranes or herons, the legend persisted. It gained significant traction in pop culture through Gray Barker and most notably John Keel's 1970 book, The Mothman Prophecies. Keel expanded the lore by connecting the creature to paranormal phenomena and the tragic collapse of the Silver Bridge. To expand on this, on December 15, 1967, the Silver Bridge connecting Point Pleasant to Ohio collapsed during rush hour, killing 46 people. Many claim they saw Mothman right before the collapse, and this tragedy turned Mothman from weird local sightings into a prophetic omen. So unlike the Wendigo's lesson about greed or the Water Panther's warning about dangerous waters, Mothman taught nothing. It simply appeared, terrified people, and became linked to the tragedy after the fact. The meaning was imposed by those seeking patterns, not embedded in the story itself. And to be clear, I'm not saying modern cryptids are inferior, they just serve a different purpose. In modern media, cryptids are fun to explore within the horror genre and serve as great entertainment. They also lay the foundation for many pop culture phenomena like the Slenderman and the Rake, and I myself love cryptid content from other creators like Wendigo. Shout out to him as he inspired the video. But it's fascinating to see how we got here, how colonization transformed sacred teachings into entertainment. From the Wendigo's warnings about greed, to the Jersey Devil sensationalism, to Mothman's mysterious tragedy. This evolution tells us much about American culture as it does about the creatures themselves. So what do you think about cryptids? Do you like them better as modern entertainment or when they're more than just creatures? And before I wrap up, I want to give a quick thank you to all who watched my last video. I really appreciate the comments and feedback I got. I know this video is very different from my last one, but I have the goal to make high quality videos about whatever I'm interested in. I don't plan on staying within a single niche. Regardless, I hope that you enjoyed what I had to say, and if you want more content like this, like and subscribe. If you're looking for some more relaxed fun, come join my streams on Twitch. Anyway, I hope to see you again. Have a great day.